Well, pool season is about a week away, but will there be enough lifeguards to watch those waters? WKYT's Jessica Umbro and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw have an update on those Lexington pool sites that are staffed, while other places are still in the hiring process. It's our top story tonight at 5:30.
This is the signature club of Lansdowne. Ryan Wall is the head lifeguard at the private club. He says they are staffed with 24 lifeguards, rotating in and out as needed. Wall says on Memorial Day, the pool and the pool grounds will be packed.
We typically will have around 500 to 600 people here at a time.
Lansdowne opens May 22nd. Over at the city pools, officials tell us they have 120 lifeguards for 5 area aquatic centers, and the lifeguard retention numbers remain high from last year.
There's not too many concerns. We do a pretty good job at training and getting them there. So right now we're looking good.
Those pools open May 25th, with the Shiloh Aquatic Center opening on June 1st. But we have noticed other pools are hiring. Paula Anderson, the president and CEO of YMCA Central Kentucky, says the organization has been looking for the right life-saving candidates since February, ahead of the summer splash season.
So typically, though, we hire 20 to 30 additional guards for the summer months to make sure that everybody gets their breaks, that we're well staffed, that we can staff up during peak times.
Anderson says hiring lifeguards coming out of the pandemic was very challenging, and now she says those who would normally sit in this high chair have other employment options.
That's always an issue, that they can work at any number of places here in Lexington, Central Kentucky. We also compete, of course, with others who have pools in the summer for guards.
Outdoor pool season for the Y starts May 25th. The Y will also have lifeguard training classes during the last weekend of the month. In Lexington, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
Well, the 3 pools that we visited are paying lifeguards between $13 and about $15 an hour.